Hello, I'm Kyle, and welcome back to Bedtime Verses with Kyle. Just a little poetry to help you get ready for bed. And please head on over to my YouTube at the Kyle Derrick and subscribe so you can get the full videos. Today we're back with John Milton. Wonderful. And we have a piece called Sabrina, where there's a spirit speaking to Sabrina, and Sabrina responds. Here we go. The Spirit. Sabrina fair, listen where thou art sitting, under the glassy, cool, translucent wave, in twisted braids of lilies knitting, the loose train of thy amber-dropping hair. Listen, for dear honor's sake, goddess of the silver lake, listen and save. So he's like, listen to me, save yourself. Listen, and appear to us, in name of great Oceanus, by the earth-shaking Neptune's mace, and Tethys' grave majestic pace, by hoary Nereus' wrinkled look, and the Carpathian wizard's hook, by scaly Triton's winding shell, and old soothsaying Glaucus' spell, by Leucitha's lovely hands, and her son that rules the strands, by Thetis' tinsel-slippered feet, and the songs of sirens sweet, by dead Parthenope's dear tomb, and fair Ligeia's golden comb, wherewith she sits on diamond rocks, sleeking her soft, alluring locks, by all the nymphs that nightly dance upon the streams with wily glance. Rise, rise, and heave thy rosy head from thy coral-paven bed, and bridle in thy headlong wave, till thou our summons answered have. Listen and save. So he's conjuring her from the depths, it seems, by all these water gods and nymphs. Now Sabrina says, by the rushy frigid bank, where grows the willow and the osier dank, my sliding chariot stays, thick set with agate and the azurine sheen of turquoise blue and emerald green, that in the channel strays. Whilst from off the water's fleet thus I set my printless feet o'er the cowslip's velvet head, that bends not as I tread. Gentle swain, at thy request, I am here. Okay. His conjuring works, the spirit. Spirit, or just a lad looking for a lovely lady? Sabrina. I don't remember the name of that goddess or nymph. Perhaps someone in the comments will know and save me the trouble of doing the work myself. Thanks again for joining me for Bedtime Verses with Kyle. You can follow me here, and please subscribe to my YouTube and my website. And there'll be new readings every weekday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night. Sleep tight. Tonight, we're back with John Milton, and he has a piece called The Spirit Apologizes. Epilogue? Apologizes? Okay. Also, I'm the new voice of Dragon Bakugan, which is on Netflix. Check it out. Okay. Apologize, blah, blah, blah. The Spirit Apologizes. With a Z and everything. Okay. So, epilogues. The Spirit Epilogues. Here we go. To the ocean now I fly, and those happy climes that lie, where day never shuts his eye, up in the broad fields of the sky. There I suck the liquid air, all amidst the gardens fair, of Hesperus and his daughters three, that sing about the golden tree. Along the crisped shades and bowers revels the spruce and jocund spring, the graces and the rosy-bosomed hours, now we're talking. Thither all their bounties bring, that there eternal summer dwells, and west winds with musky wing about the cedarn valleys fling. I made that up. Jesus H.Q. Christ. Did I have booze between these readings? I did not. Iris there with humid bough waters the odorous banks that blow, flowers of more mingled hue than her purfled scarf can show, and drenches with Elysian dew. List, mortals, if your ears be true, beds of hyacinth and roses, where young Adonis oft reposes, waxing well of his deep wound, in slumber soft, and on the ground sadly sits the Assyrian queen. But far above in spangled sheen, celestial Cupid, her famed son advanced, holds his dear Psyche, sweet entranced, after her wandering labors long, till free consent the gods among make her his eternal bride. And from her fair unspotted side, two blissful twins are to be born, youth and joy. So Job hath sworn. But now my task is smoothly done. I can fly or I can run quickly to the green earth's end, where the bowed welkin slow doth bend, and from thence can soar as soon to the corners of the moon. Mortals that would follow me, love virtue, she alone is free. She can teach ye how to climb higher than the sphery chime, or if virtue feeble were, heaven itself would stoop to her. There you go. Excuse me. The spirit. I guess this is him dying, the spirit. Epiloguizes. It's his epilogue. It's his final speech before he leaves the earth and goes and joins all the ancient gods, which, to be frank, sounds like a pretty fun time. Cupid and Psyche. Well, they did get together after all. That's nice. You didn't rail too much about virtue and sin, so that's good. Love, virtue, she alone is free. Yes, so we're back with John Milton. And a couple of sadder ones today. The first one is On His Blindness, and the next one is On His Dead Wife. Not a great title. Okay, On His Blindness, the woes of life. Here we go. When I consider how my light is spent, ere half my days, in this dark world and wide, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless, though my soul more bent to serve therewith my Maker, and present my true account, lest he returning chide, doth God exact day labor, light denied? I fondly ask. But patience, to prevent that murmur, soon replies, God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. His state is kingly, thousands at his bidding speed, and post o'er land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only stand and wait. So, I confess my ignorance here. Did Milton go blind? That would be horrific for a writer, but I suppose he could still dictate. And he's lamenting the fact that he can no longer serve. I'm sure he found a way. But he's comforted knowing that God also favors those who serve. Okay. I should look into that, actually. Did Milton go blind? I guess he must have. His wife died, as the next poem attests, on his dead wife. Methought I saw my... Well, he's not blind now, is he? We'll see. Methought I saw my late espoused saint brought to me like Alcestis from the grave, which was Hercules' wife that he pulled out of hell, whom Jove's great son to her glad husband gave, rescued from death by force, though pale and faint. Mine, as whom washed from spot of childhood taint, purification in the old law did save, and such as yet once more I trust to have full sight of her in heaven without restraint. Came vested all in, white, pure as her mind. Her face was veiled, yet to my fancied sight, love, sweetness, goodness in her person shined, so clear as in no face with more delight. But oh, as to embrace me she inclined, I waked, she fled, and day brought back my night. Very good.
Make me Batman. Hello, I'm Kyle Derrick, and I want you to make me Batman. But it's better to show than to tell, so here's my audition. No, not now.
You are a disgrace.
No, you are not my father. I am not a disgrace. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. So, spread the word and make me Batman. Subscribe, like, and share. And if there are any lines you'd like to hear me do in the voice of Batman, comment below. I'll be watching from the shadows.
More John Milton. From Paradise Lost now, which I recommend everybody read. It's glorious. Okay, so we're going to have a bunch of selections here over the next few days, but for this week, we're going to close it off with a section called Immortal Hate. And this is just after Satan and his cabal are cast out of heaven and plummet to the earth. Couldn't do it without the burp. Here we go. There the companions of his fall, o'erwhelmed with floods and whirlwinds of tempestuous fire, he soon discerns, and weltering by his side, one next himself in power and next in crime, long after known in Palestine, and named Beelzebub, to whom the arch-enemy, and thence in heaven called Satan, with bold words breaking the horrid silence, thus began. If thou beest he, but oh, how fallen, how changed from him who in the happy realms of light, clothed with transcendent brightness, didst outshine, myriads though bright, if he whom mutual league, united thoughts and counsels, equal hope and hazard in the glorious enterprise, joined with me once, now misery hath joined in equal ruin, into what pit thou seest, from what height fallen, so much the stronger proved, he with his thunder, until then who knew the force of those dire arms? Yet not for those, nor what the potent victor in his rage can else inflict, do I repent or change, though changed in outward lustre, that fixed mind, and high disdain from sense of injured merit, that with the mightiest raised me to contend, and to the fierce contention brought along innumerable force of spirits, armed that durst dislike his reign, and me preferring, his utmost power with adverse power opposed, in dubious battle on the plains of heaven, and shook his throne. What though the field be lost? All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield. And what is else not to be overcome? That glory never shall his wrath or might extort from me. To bow and sue for grace with suppliant knee, and deify his power, who from the terror of this arm so late doubted his empire, that were low indeed, that were an ignominy and shame beneath this downfall. Since by fate the strength of gods and this imperial substance cannot fail, since through experience of this great event, in arms not worse, in foresight much advanced, we may with more successful hope resolve to wage by force or guile eternal war, irreconcilable to our grand foe, who now triumphs, and in the excess of joy, so reigning holds the tyranny of heaven. So he's cast out after waging battle, trying to wage a coup against God, and he's thrown out, and now he marvels at how plain and lackluster they are. But he vows to never, ever give in, to never submit. And I tell you, obviously the forces of evil are not to be championed, but Milton so presents Satan as a man, a great leader, that'll never submit. I don't know. It's hard not to admire it. Of course it's foolishness to fight God. It's absolute foolishness. But his unconquerable will is what makes him lofty.
Do you like bedtime stories? Then get ready for the most epic bedtime story of all time, The Blessed. I'm Kyle. Join me and my friends as we take you on a completely new adventure across a fantastic land. Beautiful language, beautiful music, a powerful story. Feed your dreams. Akotar meets Shakespeare. If you like being read stories before bed, go to theblessedepic.com to find out more, and let us tuck you in. The Blessed. Feed your dreams.
Tonight, Folio Friday, Flip 2 Friday, formerly Folio Friday. There we go. What do we have today? Let's say we were pretty deep in Macbeth last time. Let's take a little deep in Macbeth. Take a shot on one. Henry the Fourth, Part 2. Henry the Fourth, Part 2. Let's see if we can find something by young Hal. Ooh. Actually, here we go. The induction. Rumor. Enter Rumor in a robe, painted full of tongues, because they say, actually, I think Rumor was, I guess, trumpets or ears and tongues. It's like covered in ears and tongues, because it can't shut up. Rumor. Okay, what a monster. Open your ears, for which of you will stop the vent of hearing when loud Rumor speaks? I, from the Orient to the drooping West, making the wind my post-horse, still unfold the axe commenced on this ball of earth. Upon my tongue's continual slanders ride, the which in every language I pronounce, stuffing the ears of men with false reports. I speak of peace, while covert enmity under the smile of safety wounds the world. And who but rumor, who but only I, make fearful musters and prepare defense, whilst the big year, swollen with some other griefs, is thought with child by the stern tyrant war, and no such matter. Rumor is a pipe blown by surmises, jealousy's conjectures, and of so easy and so plain a stop, that the blunt monster with uncounted heads, the still discordant wavering multitude, can play upon it. But what need I thus my well-known body to anatomize among my household? Why is rumor here? I run before King Harry's victory, who in a bloody field by Shrewsbury hath beaten down young Hotspur and his troops, quenching the flame of bold rebellion, even with the rebels' blood. But what mean I to speak so true at first? My office is to noise abroad that Harry Monmouth fell under the wrath of noble Hotspur's sword, and that the king before the Douglas rage stooped his anointed head as low as death. Thus have I rumored through the peasant towns between that royal field of Shrewsbury and this worm-eaten hold of Ragged Stone, where Hotspur's father, old Northumberland, lies crafty sick. The posts come tiring on, and not a man of them brings other news than they have learned of me. From rumor's tongues they bring smooth comforts false, worse than true wrongs. Isn't he so correct? Rumor, even back then, imagine what rumor would be if he had the internet. It would be insane, and that is exactly the world we're living in right now. Rumor is a pipe blown by surmises. Magnificent. Magnificent. Jealousy's conjectures. Yes. Blunt monster. Uncounted heads. Excellent. Wonderful. There you go. Thanks again for joining me for Bedtime Verses with Kyle. You can follow me here, and please subscribe to my YouTube, and there'll be new readings every weekday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night. Sleep tight.